YouTube, this is my top 16 roguelikes of all time. If you want to see me react to the rage bait, I mean, what the IGN crew put together for their top 16, click this video right here. However, I hope you guys enjoyed the definitive top 16 roguelikes of all time. We're going to say the 16th greatest roguelike of all time. I'll put respect on it. We put some time in it. It's good. It expanded the genre. It's a sequel. Sure, another publisher took it over. It's still, I think still people love it today. I'm going to say Risk of Rain 2 is the 16th greatest roguelike of all time. I think it's got a place on the list for sure. I'm going to say Risk of Rain 2 walked so Megabonk could stand on its shoulders. I'm just saying, chat. You're talking the greatest of all time. When it's all said and done, they're going to be still talking about Megabonk. And it's brought pick 3 to the masses. It's really brought pick 3 to the masses. Some people never picked 3 before. So Megabonk definitely. Megabonk's not top 10, but it's definitely up at definitely 2025's best game. And that includes Expedition 33. I think you got to tip the cap to Rogue Legacy. It's a solid roguelike. I think when you think of the Pantheon, it's not in the bread, but it's giving you a few crumbs. Rogue Legacy, I'll give you that one. What's like better than Rogue Legacy, but not much better? I would go with Vamp Survivors brought pick 3 roguelike to a new genre, to a new venue. Now, some may argue Megabonk's better than Vamp Survivors, which you probably would not be wrong. But Vamp Survivors really opened up the world, man. It opened the world. It really did. It really did. You can't deny that. So I'm gonna go. Vamp is really good, and it helps to be easily accessible. But we're still talking best of all time. I think Risk of Rain is a 12 in the 12 spot. It could have been top 5 for sure, but they suffered from one small issue. Tiny sprite syndrome, right? Like, and then they remade it, which I give them credit for. They remade it, but they went from tiny sprites to mini sprites. It was a fun game. There's a great ambience, but it's just too tiny, man. But it's still great. It's still great. Once you start sniffing the top 10, then it's like you're talking about world beaters, man. Games that just flip the industry on its head. You see it and you're like, holy cow, I've never seen anything like this in my life. And I think in the 11th spot, Darkest Dungeon, I remember seeing it for the first time, man. It was like PAX. I'm like, this looked nothing unlike anything I've ever seen. And I think Darkest Dungeon is one of the great ones. I don't put a notch in their hat for Darkest Dungeon 2 not being good, but Darkest Dungeon was like, had a special way of captivating. It starts to get a little personal here a little bit. It gets a little personal. And while I think you gotta tip the cap to Local Thunk for creating a brand new genre of Gamba roguelike, I think Balatro's the 10th greatest roguelike of all time. And I think what Local Thunk did for roguelikes is he really brought pick 3 to the normies. If you see a normie playing Balatro, they now know what a roguelike is. Prior to Balatro, they didn't know what it is. This is hard. This is way harder because I know people are like, oh, he's rage baiting. I'm not. This is like, we're separating the chaff from the whey protein right now. I mean, there's some heavy hitters here. And in terms of heavy hitters, man, FTL was one of those early games where you're like, man, it felt like you're strapping in to the SS Enterprise and you were really controlling it in one of the greatest pick 3 roguelikes of all time. It was like, it made a strategy game fun and active with multiple pick 3s. I also think about, man, what FTL did for like the codex portion. It kept driving you to want to unlock more and more ships. At least me personally, I really enjoyed FTL, and I think it's definitely top 10. So let's get that bad boy off. Noita, it still cooks to this day, man. I think there's still secrets people haven't figured out. We've never beaten it. It's definitely on the pantheon of games that we have, roguelikes we haven't beaten that have to be beaten. It's just different, man. If you can look at a game for a frame or a couple frames of animation in terms of being a pick 3, it jumps out on paper. Noita is. I feel like Noita doesn't get the love it deserves because it does suffer from LPS. You know, there's another game on this that suffered from LPS, little pixel syndrome. It's tough. but suffering from LPS does not keep it out of the top 10. I think this is the greatest Castlevania-esque roguelike in terms of side-scrolling, action, fighting-based roguelikes. I'll take Dead Cells. It's just, it found a way to make Castlevania a roguelike. That's why when I look at a lot of these games, I'm like, okay, this is the Castlevania roguelike. There's certain threads. There's certain threads. When you get up here in the greatness, the top 7 roguelikes of all time, they just emulate greatest NES games of all time. And this is the Castlevania of roguelikes. For those that were a part of it when it came out, Binding of Isaac Flash was a world beater. It was like, it just expanded minds. You're like, holy cow. For a lot of people, it was like their introduction to roguelikes, myself included. And I'm like, it was, to me, like, sure, it wasn't the first, like, Rogue or NetHack, like, but it was the first. It was the first for a lot of us. And I think it was like the first massive, like, it just felt like it never ended. Just take the eddiness into account, the items, bosses, secrets. I think Flash laid the foundation so the other ones could crawl here. In the 5 slot, I have to go Enter the Gungeon. Really good. Really, really good. It's got a face on the Mount Rushmore. It's really good. We paced it, 100% it. Saw pretty much everything the game had to offer. It just, for me, Enter the Gungeon was like the near excellent game. It just didn't have, it was missing something. I don't know what it was missing, but it was missing something. Because it felt like, Enter the Gungeon felt like a version of Isaac 2, right? Like, this is what Isaac 2 would look like, but it didn't have the soul of Isaac. There was something like, it's incredible. It's one of the greatest of all time. I'm just saying, like, to me, Enter the Gungeon didn't have something. You're shocked I'm putting Gungeon over Balatro. Part of this also, when you're talking about the greatest of all time, it talks about which do you want to play 20 years from now. Balatro, you know what's gonna happen. Enter the Gungeon, man. We're down to the last 4. And I think, and I enjoyed it. It's extremely DAE game, extremely cerebral game. But it's also one of those games when you saw it for the first time, you're like, what the heck is this? This is something new. It was the first of its deck building kind. I know it's going to shock some people. Slay the Spire, to me, is the 4th greatest roguelike of all time, man. It was very polished. It was fun. It was challenging. It still holds up, man. It still holds up. Still holds up. Now we're down to the final 3. This is like, what's your favorite kid, man? You can't pick them. You can't pick them, but sometimes you got to pick them. And in the 3 slot, the game synonymous with roguelikes on the Pantheon, next to Kojima, next to Miyazaki, Derek Hughes, Xbox Live Arcade rendition of the original Spelunky HD, and talk about cornucopias, man. It is the definitive platforming roguelike. When you go back in life and you say you got an alien, and an alien sitting next to you, like, hey, what are your best video games of all time? You could lead with Spelunky, and then that alien would never play any other video games. You're like, thanks for ruining all games with me. And that's where I put Spelunky, man. If Spelunky is the steak, man. It's the steak, man. Some people go their life without eating steak, but some of us, we eat it in some form or fashion. Now, there's 2 games left. There's the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which includes all DLCs after that, and Spelunky 2. You're talking 2 heavyweight fighters. You're talking Roman Reigns, John Cena. You're talking the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. You're talking peanut butter. You're talking jelly. You're talking popcorn and Junior Mints at the movie theater. You're talking The Godfather. You're talking Donnie Brasco. But there's a couple factors that play into this. One, the difference between 1 and 2 is like you're splitting hairs, but the difference between 1 and 2 is abundance and quantity over quality. More, or just you take a sip of that 200-year Chianti and you're like, man, this was polished from the beginning, man. These grapes were perfectly cylindrical. And the other one, you got just like an endless buffet of it just never stops. It keeps coming in. And then, but the difference is between 1 and 2. Once you get around the perfect spherical grape that made that 200-year Chianti, you notice there's a little note inside. And it says, go 16,000 miles south and you'll find something. That's the difference between 1 and 2. So for that reason, the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, you could play it for a lifetime. People still play it for a lifetime. People are still making a living posting daily Isaac videos. That's how good this game is. You can play it forever. You can have infinite synergies, and you just never know. You just absolutely never know what's gonna happen. You still pog up over good runs. So it's really 1 and 1A. Eddie with Rebirth in the 2 slot. But the greatest roguelike of all time is Spelunky 2. It somehow made the sequel better than the original. It somehow put more challenges into more secrets. And it created the single greatest, most difficult gaming feat of all time. $7.99. To me, I look at which of these is the pantheon, which of these is the summit, which of these is the pinnacle, which of these will elude roguelike players for a lifetime and make you want to keep coming back to you $7.99 for the first time. It's created something that was so difficult, but gave you just a little hope of accessibility. The game that is not about tutorials, not about unlocks, not about meta progressions, and none of that. None of that is in Spelunky 2. The meta progression is between your ear holes. The more you play Spelunky, the more knowledge you get. You don't have to unlock Brimstone and God End and get a special Uber run. The Uber run's right here. And for that reason, Spelunky 2 is the greatest roguelike of all time on the top 16. And not to mention, there's eggplant runs, which is a whole nother world. We're not even talking eggplant runs, but it's in there. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment your favorite roguelikes, and for some odd reason, you might think that this was rage bait. Check out the true rage bait made by IGN.